Alright, we're back torching those bad Xbox games. Let's not waste any time. First up, Crime Life Gang Wars. Let's talk about this. It was put out by Konami, and I think from what I read about it, Konami would rather prefer if people forgot that they made it. It has very blurry and low quality textures, not on par with the Xbox. There's a lot of improper lighting and bad contrasting, which makes some of the scenes in the game very difficult to look at. Bad camera angles, which can force you to miss out on important things at certain times. There's a very terrible soundtrack. And a very wonky control scheme. So let's show Crime Life Gang Wars what we think of it. I like this beat. Put that on the playlist. Let's move up to the next game. Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. That's good enough.
Oh boy. Ahoy.
Bully. So let's talk about Fight Club for the Xbox. Has very boring, repetitive combat. It's one of those ones where you just kind of button mash your way to victory. Low quality voice samples. And a very low number of available moves, which just reinforces your desire and need to button mash. And very clunky animation. Alright, let's move on to the next one. We have an encore performance. Bad Boys Miami Takedown. It's vast. Yes, it is. How you doing, Coach Blucher? I'm doing alright, I guess. I'm having a bit of trouble with trying to get an account canceled. So let's talk about Bad Boys Miami Takedown. You'll remember this from my PS2 list. And it has all the same problems on Xbox that it did on PS2. Most notably, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith do not voice their titular characters. Very bad dialogue, poorly done dialogue, extremely one-note and threadbare story. Poorly programmed AI and very subpar graphics. Oh, Little Inferno? Yeah. Trying to think of it for years, or months, or days. It avoided catastrophe. Oh, okay, just now when you saw it. Okay. Bad Boys for Life. Let's move on to the next one. Aquaman. Well. We'll get all the sea creatures out for this one. Anything else moderately oceanic? No, I don't think so. That's good enough. You were confused because talking about Xbox PS2 games, didn't realize you were playing said game. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess maybe I should lead with the fact that it's Little Inferno. Well, that's weird. Let's try that one again, huh? Uh-oh. She floated off the screen. I'm back! This isn't going well. But that's okay. You won't lie. Saw I was online and clicked, wanted to come chill. Hey. That's what's up. This is my hope. Just build a chill community. We just talk about games, talk about life, talk about problems, talk about whatever. This is a mod for this game, I assume. No, this is the normal functionality of the game. They give you the ability to, which part is, I'm sorry, what? So for Aquaman, oh yeah, you can insert whatever you want. As long as, you have to, I don't know what the precise dimensions is for the max size of picture that you can use. So I usually, for like these big images of the cover art, I'll shrink them down so that they're, you know, nice to be pulled in. And that's how I'm able to do all these themed videos. Next is bad GameCube games. But let's talk about Aquaman, which is also for the GameCube. It has an auto lock-on and a spastic camera, which can drive people nuts. You might not necessarily want to lock on to the closest enemy to you, but that's just the thing. The auto lock-on might lock on to the closest enemy, and it also might not. Speaking of the camera, depending on which way you're facing, the control scheme varies, which also drives people nuts. So if the camera spins around, all of a sudden up is down and left is right. I hate that, personally. It's also just a button masher. You can get away with just spamming the same attack and enemies will just... Low draw distance, which they just tried to pass off as limited visibility under the water, but it's Aquaman. And then the environments in the game are very unpopulous. They have all these like Atlantean skyscrapers and there's like no NPCs around. Dude, this song's what's up. The White to Remain. Put that on the soundtrack. Alright, let's move on to the next game. Oh, here we go. Drake of the 99 Dragons. So, Blucher, what else have you been playing besides F1 Racing and Phasmophobia? Doom Eternal. Ah, yes, another popular one. Thinking of streaming it, we got homework to do first. And we'll wait for the ninja and talk about the epic game Drake of the 99 Dragons. Now, tonight you're doing a stream of Jurassic World Evolution. Okay. I'll have to tune into that. I have a video call with my mom from about 7 to 8 Eastern Time. But I'm sure your stream will be longer than an hour. Well, I appreciate that. Blucher, I'd like to see you around too. Start at 8 Eastern Time? Alright, cool. Then I'll probably be fashionably late. So, Drake of the 99 Dragons. This was a game that that the Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed, and if you'd like to see his angry rant about it and high production value, then go check out AVGN. For now, I'll go over the points. The style of the game is good, and James actually compared it to like a Saturday morning cartoon sort of deal, and I agree. So let's talk about this. It has an extremely cliche story. It's like a chosen one who has to avenge their dead master and retrieve a sacred artifact. Never heard that one before. Extremely questionable voice acting. Seemed like there was like no voice direction. Like people were just put in front of a mic with lines and they read them. Very broken targeting system, and that's probably the thing that sticks out the most to anybody who's played the game. Bad sound effects. The aiming and the camera are on the same are both on the right analog stick. Busted platforming, and so certain jumps can be very, very challenging. There's a mode in the game where you can go into bullet time, but it slows down Drake along with everybody else. So unless you're the type of person who like really, really needs the action to be slowed down so you can like really think about what you're doing and try to think 4 or 5 moves ahead, it's really not that useful. And there's also time limits in the game. Now, they are somewhat generous, but still, for an action platforming shooter, why are there time limits? That's stupid. And poor animation. Blucher says, you and your friend doing some dual park building. It's sad because the game sounds amazing by title alone. Why is that sad, exactly? Intruders in the penthouse of the 99 Dragons clan? You must be out of this world to get past our guards. There's no cure for stupidity beyond death. You love dragons. I love dragons too. Moving on. Shrek Super Party. Whee! So you hear Drake and the 99 Dragons. You're interested in the game until I went over the negatives. Oh yeah. Drake and the 99 Dragons is terrible. Let's see. What do we want for Shrek Super Party? Can't have a party without balloons. And I think that's enough. So let's talk about Shrek Super Party. Basically, this is just another sad attempt at a clone at Mario Party. It has very unintuitive control scheme, and the mini games are extremely boring. So, this was like the most shameless attempt at a cash grab, using the Shrek name and then attempting to copy the model set by Mario Party. What else? Mediocre graphics. Yep. With as expertly CGI as the Shrek movies look, you'd think that a game on the Xbox would look a lot better, but no. Yeah. There have been a lot of attempts to copy Mario Party. In the last video for Dreamcast games, I talked about Sonic Shuffle, their bad attempt at it. And I mean, somebody's gonna have to, like, clue me in on this. I'm not aware of any Mario Party clones that are actually good. I'm not aware of any. I'm actually surprised, and this may exist and I just never heard of it, but I'm kind of surprised there's no, like, Pokemon party game. Exactly, you can never beat the original. So, let's move on to Batman Dark Tomorrow. I am the night. Let's see here. Yeah, gotta have that. Sure. Let's talk about this. Get on there, you. There we go. This was brought to us by Kemco. And this one has bad animation. Very rigid, stiff animation. And stiff controls to go with it. Yay! Bad platforming. There's a section of the game where you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop that will frustrate you. Bad combat execution. Oh, okay. So this is a very specific example. In the game, you have to, as you would expect, go around and beat up bad guys as Batman. Here's the thing, though. When you beat them down, they don't die or disappear or anything. They're only knocked out for, like, a short time. And what you're supposed to do when you knock out an enemy is run up and put the bat cuffs on them. And I guess wait for Gotham City Police to come officially arrest them. That would be okay, maybe, if it weren't for the fact that a special animation plays every single time you cuff someone, and it gets boring by about the 4th time you see it. And it's tedious, it breaks up the combat, so it's constantly stop and go, stop and go. Beat someone, cuff them. Beat someone, cuff them. For an action game, that's terrible. So, and the combat is repetitive. It's one of those where you don't really have to put any thought into beating the enemies. Excessively reused texture. And, in a lot of these games, we talk about how bad the camera is. Like how the camera flies everywhere and there's bad camera angles. Well, in this game, there's no camera control whatsoever. Kinky Batman. We didn't say they were furry bat cuffs, just bat cuffs. Wow, what caused that explosion? Hey, Kelly Monster, how's it going? I'm doing great today. How about you? I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I had to slide out the back door last night because I realized I hadn't done any of my prep for this video. And I was like, ah! And it was like 2 something, 1 something, something. Gonna get some housework done and order dinner. Ooh! What you gonna order? You have a lot of prep for your Halloween stream. Yeah, I'll bet you do. Not to mention that costume that I just can't guess. Oh, here we go. Ants Extreme Racing. Ooh. So extreme. Thinking about ordering veggie burgers. That's what's up. I might dress up. I mean, I do have plenty of costume stuff in the basement. It might not necessarily be anything composed, but I'm sure I could throw something together. I mean, here, let me... and do like this. There we go. Perfect. Do I like this? Stay on my head, you. There we go. Thanks. I also have these steampunkish red lensed goggles that make everything look red. I was thinking of adding these as one of the point redemption bonuses for whenever I hit affiliate, to make me wear the red goggles and play the game for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes while everything looks red. Because there's some games where having everything look red is a real hindrance. So I might have to make that a semi-expensive one. Oh, you like those? Yeah, I got them off of you know what? I think those might have been an Etsy purchase. I can't remember. They might have been an Etsy. But anyhow, let's talk about Ants Extreme Racing. First of all, I've never seen the Ants movie. And this is probably the worst candidate to make a racing game out of any IP ever. And unfortunately, there wasn't that much to say about it. One of the big complaints is that the races seem to have like a variable speed. Like some races you're racing really slow, and other races you're racing kind of fast or normal speed, which is confusing. Trash tier graphics. I mean, honestly, you look at this cover and you expect there to be trash tier graphics. The briefcase. Where is the salad list? Well, it's on the overlay for when I'm playing Phantasy Star 4 Purgatory mode. But if you want to see it anytime, you can join the Discord and look in the section for that. Oh, and I also posted it on my Vast Ice Gaming Facebook page if you want to join that. Now, terrible sound effects in Ants Extreme Racing, and it's way too easy. You just breeze through the game, and, you know, if you're lucky, you'll get 2 hours of entertainment out of it. So, I wouldn't even say it was worth a rental, since this is back when, you know, you could still rent video games. Oop, 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 oop. Let me help you. Blown apart. Oh, that better catch it on fire. Come on, catch it on fire. There we go. Not unlike burning ants with a magnifying glass. Next game. Superman, the Man of Steel. And I guess if none of those options, there are no bad Xbox games. It's all good, man. I mean, the list goes beyond here. These are just the worst. Your favorite RPG is on Xbox. Cameo. Oh, okay, that's a 360 game, isn't it? Okay, well this is for the original Xbox, not the 360. I suppose eventually we'll get to the 360. But you know what? It's funny, I actually played Cameo as something to play with my wife. Back when she still had time to play games with me before we had kids. But the problem is, in order to play any of the levels in the game multiplayer or co-op, you have to beat the level in single player first, which is the stupidest implementation of co-op I've ever heard of in my life. Otherwise, the game was actually kind of enjoyable, but basically you have to play through the whole game to unlock co-op. And I was like, so I gotta play through the game twice just to play with my wife. That's stupid. So anyway, let's talk about Superman, the Man of Steel. Bad collision detection. And bad collision detection referring not only to thinking you hit, but you really didn't, but when Superman flies into certain boundaries, it causes him to bounce around, which is terrible. The controls are somewhat slippery, especially when the control changes slightly when Superman picks up super heavy objects. That takes some adjustment. Very repetitive gameplay. You're just going through different types of missions, but all the missions are the same. I'm just reading reviews every once in a while, because these lists are submitted by a viewer of mine on YouTube named Kieran Callahan. So I have to just, I have to go out, do a little research, find the cover art, and talk about what the worst aspects of the game are. Every once in a while we run across a game that I've played myself, but I never owned an original Xbox, so. And let's see. Worst part of the game? Well, one of the worst. The very touchy lock-on system. You're supposed to use a lock-on system for combat, but it's touchy, so you might lock onto the enemy, or you might not. It's that kind of game. You own Superman, the Man of Steel? You collect. Very dumb idea. That's okay. I mean, you never know which games might be worth money someday. I mean, even bad games, you know, depending on the type of reputation they get, can be worth a lot of money. Like, look at Cheetah Men 2 for the NES. Unlicensed NES game. Never officially released and worth exorbitant prices. It's like the unholy grail of the NES library, to quote James Rolfe. Last game on our list. Where are we at? Here it is. Celebrity Deathmatch. So let's put to oh yeah, we gotta have that. Let's put together our nice cast of characters.
Oh boy.
Alright, who remembers Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV? I remember in the late 90s and like early 2000s, Celebrity Deathmatch was awesome. I remember one particular match between Hanson and the Spice Girls. And then Marilyn Manson came and dropped the entire rafters on the whole ring. And it was funny. Somebody got in the ring, one of the announcers got in the ring and asked him, like, Marilyn, why did you do it? And Marilyn Manson was just like, because they suck. There we go. Kelly Monster remembers that. Man, Celebrity Deathmatch was awesome. They should bring that back, man. With the way some people beef online nowadays, it would be perfect. This was like before the social media age. If they brought it back, I think it would do really well. So let's talk about the game itself. There's a very meager array of moves for each character. And the game itself is a monotonous button masher. No real strategy involved, like you know, might try and play like a normal wrestling game or something like that. Nothing like that here. Very unchallenging. And very little variety in the gameplay. There's only two modes. Episode mode and showdown mode. And all the episode is a bunch of like mock-up episodes of Celebrity Deathmatch where you play as specific people against specific opponents. Once you breeze through that in about an hour, then you can just play as showdown mode where you just can play anyone against anyone. But that's it. There's also create a celebrity mode in case you wanted to like try to create a specific celebrity and then, you know, bash them in the ring. But there's not that many options. So what you can accomplish is very limited. And the graphics in the game are very poorly represented. Or very not representative of the show. On the cover, they have like the claymation versions of like the characters from the show, but in the game, like they're all polygonal and stuff, like it came from, you know, like bad PlayStation era graphics or something like that. So that would be very disappointing. And I don't know why they couldn't do claymation graphics and stuff. I mean, we already had games like Skull Monkeys and Clay Fighter and stuff like that. So there's no excuse. So, Exterminator, do what you do best. Alright. That is the list. So, thanks everybody for hanging out. For burning bad Xbox games in the Little Inferno. I'm going to take a little break, get something to eat, then I'll be coming back around 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, something like that, with more Phantasy Star 4 Purgatory mode, and we'll see if I can avoid dying more, especially in the air castle, which is... So, you won't want to miss that. So thank you once again. Whether you were watching this live or seeing this on a replay, thanks for coming on the journey with me.